Day 5 in London. Today we are taking an overnight trip to Oxford. I'm so excited, but we're traveling by various public routes. We're taking the bus, we're taking the tube, we're walking. So I have packed everything I need into my backpack. So exciting. It's really hard to stuff it all in there. I am so excited. Let's go. The main part of our journey was on the bus. I really liked this bus. It was amazingly spacious and it had seat belts. It was actually very relaxing. I listened to the Chronicles of Narnia all the way out there. It just seemed appropriate because I was leaving London to go to Oxford. And Oxford is just so beautiful. I was very surprised. Just made it to the place where we're staying in Oxford. Can't believe how nice it is. Let me show you. So I got bed, dresser, TV, fake fireplace. Look at how big this bathroom is, especially compared to where I'm staying in London. And then over here, of course, I got a tea station and a vanity. After eating lunch, we stumbled upon this bookshop that said it had rare and secondhand books. They were not joking. We walked in there and I was instantly very surprised, especially with the old copies of J.R.R. Tolkien and Agatha Christie that I was finding. But the best surprises were yet to come. So I just want to stop for a second and share what I got at the bookstore. So I started looking around and they had some rare, really expensive things all in an expensive lock case, but the more we started looking around, we were realizing that there was some really nice stuff just kind of left out. And if you think about it, that makes sense because in England, particularly at Oxford, these things were being mass produced here, and so it's really rare to find a first edition Agatha Christie in the United States. But here that's gonna be a little bit more common. And so I was finding some Agatha Christie from the 50s. Most of her titles were changed mainly because they're published in America, but some of them are not considered appropriate nowadays. So I was finding stuff with original titles. I was finding older copies of The Hobbit that actually still had the original cover page with the red ink. You can't really find that. That was so exciting. And then I stumbled upon my real treasures. So they had some older C.S. Lewis. I was finding 4th edition Screwtape Letters, 2nd edition of, I think it was one of his essays, and it was so funny because when you looked at the author page, it showed that he had only written 6 things, and it did not have the Chronicles of Narnia or I think the rest of the Ransom trilogy in it yet. That was just so funny to me. Well, the guy walking out in front of me goes, I just found a 1st edition copy of The Four Loves by C.S. Lewis. So I just descended upon that, and I see Voyage to Venus by C.S. Lewis. And that instantly grabbed my attention because Voyage to Venus was eventually renamed Prelandria. And I realized, okay, this is definitely older because the title's changed. So it's been through a lot. I open it up, I start flipping around. I realize it's a 1st edition paperback copy. Now, hardcover was published first, so this isn't as big a deal because it came out much later. But I have a 1st edition C.S. Lewis. When I opened it up to the cover page, was mispriced. It said it was £6. So I went up to the front desk and I said, hey, I really think this is an accident. It says this is £6. It's 1st edition C.S. Lewis. And the lady's like, I don't care, it says £6. At that point, when I realized I could get it for £6, the excitement was kind of close to a panic attack, and I literally did not feel here metaphysically. And then Sarah and Jillian both kind of grabbed my arm. And Sarah's like, I don't know what happened, but I really thought you were going to hit the deck. I didn't. So I keep looking. And then I find this copy of Pilgrim's Progress that looks like it's older, it looks like it's had a hard life, but I open up first couple pages. First thing I see is that it's folio edition. If you don't know what this means, a folio means that it's significantly older. I start flipping through it and I see the original typeface. It was typed more like a play, so everyone has like a little, like, if you see, I think it's faith for faithful, CHR for Christian, and then they say their line, essentially. But then when I look at the first page, it does not say Pilgrim's Progress. It says The Pilgrim's Progress from this world to that which is to come, delivered under the similitude of a dream by John Bunyan. That was the full original title. Back in the day, they didn't have like anything on the back of books, so the titles were literally a dead giveaway. If you ever Google the original title of Robinson Crusoe, it's essentially 3 sentences that tells the entire story of what happens to him. Not a joke. And whenever I saw that title, I realized this is a lot older than I realize, and older things don't really have publication pages. I keep looking, and realized this is a 9th edition. So it was a little bit more expensive, but it was still insanely cheap. It was 30 pounds. Whenever I looked up, like, the cheapest thing I could find online was well over double that. I can't believe I found this. There's definitely more rare and antique book dealers, and we are so gonna hit those tomorrow. Because of location, rare books are a little bit easier to come across and also cheaper in Europe. For example, when I went to Dublin last summer, I ended up at this secondhand bookshop in Dublin, and I found a first edition leather-bound copy of a work by Rudyard Kipling. My friend who was also there somehow found a really early copy of Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, who's an American author. I have no clue how something that was printed in America in the 1800s wound up in Dublin, and then Elena just like, hey, what's that? I don't know how it got there, but that was just an amazing find, and so I am just so excited for more bookshops. So we're getting ready to go punting, and that's basically where you sit in a boat and you use a pole to just kind of propel yourself through the river. It's a great thing in Oxford, really popular in Oxford. So it was 3 of us per punt, and someone had to be the person actually doing the punting, and I was instantly nominated our punter. The guy who rented us the punt was like, oh my goodness, she's so good. He was obviously just being nice because I very quickly learned I had no idea what I was doing, and I punted into a tree pretty much first thing. So after I got us out of the tree, I still struggled a little. It was kind of funny. All of my friends seemed to be doing pretty good. Everyone else seemed to get the hang of it, but I just kind of really struggled going downstream and especially back. So we've been punting for about an hour now and we keep getting stuck on the bridge. This isn't working. We had to get rescued, but we did make it within 50 feet of the marina. So, yeah, made it a lot farther than I thought.
Out of my hand, I can't.
Oh, okay, we're gonna hit.
They lost us. I couldn't.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you guys have fun?
I'm sitting in a puddle of water. I was just landing at the side. We almost capsized. My shoulder hurts. I'm sunburned. How are you?
Great.
Thanks, fucker.
So after all that excitement, some of us decided to go to a bookstore. This was not a secondhand or used bookstore. So unfortunately, I didn't find any hidden gems here. However, I was really surprised at the variety and the selection of books that they had. I was also really surprised at the price. There was multiple books that had stickers on them that said 3 for £2. I was just blown away. I really wish bookstores in the US were like this, since I can assure you it's definitely not that cheap. Hunting for dinner in the mall right now, but I've never seen a mall quite like this. Take a look. We ended up eating dinner at the top level of the mall, which is open so you can see all of Oxford. It was just amazingly beautiful up there, and it had multiple themed restaurants. The Indian restaurant that we walked past literally had jungle swings that you sat in instead of seats. This is it. It was just amazing. Now we ended up at one of the less crazy themed restaurants, but we had some amazing chicken and chips and coleslaw. It was really good. And then on the walk back to the hotel, we stopped and got some ice cream. The ice cream was really good, and the strawberry ice cream was made with real strawberries, so I got to eat it. It's really rare that I get strawberry ice cream. This was quite the treat and a beautiful way to end this kind of crazy day.